At the start of this year, I had a plan to do 3 types of trichrometry, which is perfect for, the number 3 in trichrometry. And I had a plan, but that plan didn't exactly go well. It started off good, but didn't go well. So let me just explain. My first plan was to go to Mount Taranaki and take some trichrome photos the old school way with a red, green, and blue filter. I did that and I got some awesome photos. And then around the middle of the year, I was going to use this camera. This camera here is designed to shoot trichrome photos by shooting 3 photos at once, as seen on this YouTube video or on the creator of this idea's YouTube video. This did not come to pass. And finally, I had a third way to trichrome that I really wanted to try out. This was created by the Instagrammer and YouTuber To Stop Over Instagram. I found this on Instagram a wee while ago, and I was really intrigued with what he was attempting to do, and I wanted to see if I could recreate it myself because I hadn't seen anyone else do it. So what is that idea, you might ask? Well, instead of taking 3 photos to do a trichrome, you take 2. Now, before you get a little too, jumping out of your seats with that one, let me explain in just a moment what I mean by showing you the camera setup. So what I have here is the exact same camera. And the reason why I have got the exact same camera connected to itself with the exact same lenses is to make sure as much of the 2 images are as close to each other in every manner that I can possibly control. Now, one of these cameras has infrared film, and the infrared film is being pushed to 25 ISO to keep the shutter speed closer to being reasonable than what you would get at shooting it at 6 ISO with a 720nm filter normally. As for the second camera, this has Cinestill 50D, a 50 ISO color film, which I'm going to have respooled into a 25 ISO canister. Now, the reason why I'm doing that is to make sure that the 2 cameras are going to be shooting at the same settings. Now, will the 50 ISO be overexposed a tad? Yes. However, you can't buy 25 ISO color film anymore, so this is the best method. I didn't want to push Rolly Infrared 3 stops because I've never pushed it 3 stops. That's over experimenting and more likely to cause me an issue, whereas pushing 50 ISO color film, technically a stop by shooting it at 25 ISO is fine. Like, it's not gonna end the world. And if it does, oh well. So just sit back, watch me go out and shoot with it, speak about how to shoot with it, and then later on in the video, I'm going to talk about the post-processing. Just to note that the post-processing that you are seeing at the moment from the current examples is from the first method of post-processing based on my knowledge at the time when I did that. I then came across another video by a different YouTuber, and that was for a completely different thing, but it was related to shooting false colors and infrared and the logic behind moving colors to get them to display correctly for digital cameras. And funny enough, it actually solved the issue for me, because if you haven't noticed already, these are incredibly red and they're not exactly the whole way to the Aerochrome look just yet. But just wait, or pop on to the chapter which explains how it's done, and skip everything else, whatever you want to do. So, 4th time's the charm. Make sure you have your infrared filter, otherwise this project isn't going to go anywhere. Now, the thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to meter with your top camera, because that's the one that doesn't have the infrared filter, and you see through it. You check with your camera's meter that everything is in focus and exposed correctly, and then you go ahead and you adjust your other camera
as well. Make sure they are both set to manual. Don't have them different apertures, different shutters. It's just going to be problematic. Now, because we are shooting 25 ISO on the infrared, I'm shooting 25 ISO on my color film. Well, kind of. I'll explain later on in a bit. But basically, because we're metering at 25 ISO for the two shots, there isn't a whole lot of huge amount of depth and focus. So if I screw this up somehow between them, there's not much to recover.
As you can see by the first photo, it didn't work well. But with the second photo, now we are starting to get images that look a lot more like Aerochrome.
Now the hardest bit, I've just noticed, is trying to get these two cameras to align focus. Now, I don't have my infrared flipping filter on here because I wasn't too sure about using it with this setup. But if I make sure that these are aligned and focus with one, it should relatively be the same for the other.
So what I suspect is happening here is that whilst auto alignment works well, but because these lenses are not at the most widest angle, I would recommend using wider lenses than the 35mm that I have for this setup. I would recommend also shooting on the sunniest day possible. Whilst this video looks sunny, it wasn't the most sunniest day, as with that ISO I have shot faster than f4 and 1/60th. Which is what my meter was prescribing me at the time. The faster you have the shutter speeds, the better, especially with this jury rig setup not being fully stable.
Now, one of the hardest things is making sure you shoot in sync. No idea how that's going to go.
Finally, this went a lot better than the last three photos.
Now, I am going to be taking a few double shots because there's no guarantee that when I'm shooting at 60th of a second that I'm stable enough to start risking it at that point.
And yeah, I was right. This was not stable enough.
When I say I'm dark and mysterious, sometimes this is what I mean.
I don't usually prescribe to the idea that your first photos can't be your best photos, but today was for sure an example of that philosophy, of taking a wee while to hit my stride. But once I did, things started falling more into place.
You know, I always have to use my go-to spots for half these tests. I swear I actually photograph new things, but see how those went.
You know, I've shot this spot again and again and again and again and again and again. This might be the second best photo of this location.
Now, because this is 25 ISO, it's not very bright, but it's only 2 stops underexposed. So, fuck it. I don't really want to have a slower shutter speed than 1/60th, and I don't have a setup just yet to be able to do anything slower. So, here goes.
Now, you may have noticed these photos look very duochrome. Just wait a bit or skip to this section for me to explain my initial post-processing.
I've gone ahead and got a really cool Lomo purple shot here before, so let's see if I can get a really cool So that was the first photo that I took, not at 35 mils. This is a zoom lens that goes between 35 and 70. I decided that I like the framing with the 50. It was a little too wide at 35 for this environment. So I tried to make sure that I set it right between the 5 and the 0 on both of them. So we'll just have to wait and see whether that was the case or not. Could be some weirdness. We'll just have to wait and see. That's going to be the hard bit from this, figuring out whether you can even mix the zooms around or whether it's better to have prime lenses, but who knows.
Either way, it came out and I really need to return to this location more often.
Now, I've shot here before. This is probably one of the most overshot locations in all of Wellington, but perfect example to show how, if this technique works, you can transform your art and do something different.
Okay, so before I go over the post-processing, I just want to quickly talk about the actual setup between the two cameras. Now, I may not have mentioned it before. With the two cameras, David, who's 2 stops over, he used a 3D print for his two cameras. Now, I had some issues with the 3D print, and it wasn't just issues with getting the print to actually come out right or fit right. It's made from 2 pieces and you slide them into each other. The issue with the first 2 times I tried printing was with a friend's machine, and the machine wasn't able to print that precisely and the pieces wouldn't fit together. And then when we printed with our Bamboo P100, P1000, whatever it is, one of the higher end Bamboo ones that we have, the issue with the print was that you try push it in and it would either get stuck, or if you tried pulling it apart, the bits would break. And I also had issues with the design in terms of feasibility. Now, I know David has got it working, but one of the issues that I have with the design is the fact that you've essentially got one screw going in this way and one screw going in that way, they slightly don't actually align. Not only is your up and down axis going to be slightly different, or actually not slightly, but a wee bit different, but not too bad. Parallax is a thing, but well, it's usually not that problematic. Where you will have issues, however, is with the fact that he would also be slightly like this, which means that you're also seeing photos even further apart, and that wasn't a good design in my opinion. So what I did is I got a spigot, I think that's how you pronounce it. Now, spigot is used often by people like gaffers and stuff in movie sets, and it allows you to connect two pieces of equipment together. The issue with using a spigot is that technically one bit spins on 90 degrees further than the other, which means that if you actually tighten it, one camera is this way and the other camera is that way, which isn't ideal. So I have to have it not fully tightened and then also have some blue tack sitting in between just to kind of keep it more stable, but it's not a perfect system. In the future, I do want to design, and I am learning how to design with 3D printers, a 3D print that will allow you to screw on both cameras exactly on the exact same axis other than the, I think it's the XY axis, X axis for going up and down, but essentially they won't be like this apart from each other. They will be exactly like this, but it does work. The setup does work and does create a Aerochrome-ish photo, with the idea being that your infrared photo is going to become your red channel, and then you're going to get your other channels from the color photo and manipulate them to fill in the other colors, and that way you can get yourself a false color infrared photo. So bear that in mind, that this is a work in progress technique setup and it's not fully perfect, hence why there is a bit of fragging, especially down on the lower half. However, I think after this first test round, some point in the future coming up, I will be able to perfect it. But for now, let's just watch how I processed it the first time based on my theory and understanding that I had at the time. We'll also do David's technique and I'll explain where that falls short, and then I will then go ahead and show you how to actually post-process these to get a much closer to Aerochrome photo based on a technique that was not actually something I was looking for, but was looking for a digital full spectrum infrared camera to post-process video footage, and it actually informed me how to post-process this. So let's just dive right on it. Now, the first things first is you're going to have to align your layers. Now, I'm not going to tell you every different way to go ahead and put your layers on here. You can figure that one out for yourself. There are other videos out there that show you how to do this. But for me, I've just dragged and dropped on top, and then I am going to rasterize this layer because I do not want it as a smart object. This layer here is my infrared layer, and then this here is my color. And as you can see, they don't fully align, but if we duplicate the color layer, delete the locked layer, we don't need that locked layer, and then select both layers, click auto align, just leave it on auto. It will generally do its thing. Now there's some slight movement between the images. This isn't fully unexpected. After all, we do have a less than ideal shutter speed, f-stop, and also we have a less than ideal camera setup that may induce some movement when you are actually firing the shutter. This is going to be our infrared layer. Now initially, if memory serves, this is basically how David did the technique. As you can see, a lot of his shots that he uses have a orange look to them. That isn't the true Aerochrome look. It doesn't have a sunburnt, full summer tone. it's more pinkish red, not this orange. But it's still a really cool look, and you don't necessarily have to post-process it to look like Aerochrome. You can post-process it any which way you want, because, you know, at the end of the day, it's your photos, you be creative, you're in control. Now, where I went a little bit different, and I'm just gonna take the layers and rearrange them, is I originally, let's see if I can recreate it. I went selective color, and my idea was, well, essentially you're moving the color layers along. So infrared becomes your red, red becomes your green, green becomes your blue, and blue can fuck off. But this didn't work exactly how I wanted, and you can see by this. So our selective, sorry, not selective color. So we add our channel mixer, and sorry, I didn't mean selective color, I meant channel mixer. So, okay, so what we're gonna do is we're going to move the red to the green channel, and we're gonna click Alt and connect up the channel mixer to affect only the background copy, i.e. the color photo. So we're now going to, on the red, take that down to 0, move that 100 up to green, and the green we're going to move 100 to blue, so we're going to get rid of that, and there. And then the really weird thing was, as I mentioned, you're supposed to get rid of the blue because it's supposed to be infrared, red, green. That is Aerochrome. However, if you do that, you get this yellow, disgusting looking image. So I had to keep that, and I was really confused. I was really, really perplexed because I thought this would work. And I posted on Reddit and a couple of different forums, infrared related ones, and no one understood the color theory to be able to actually do it. A lot of people like the photo. They really like this duochrome look. And the duochrome look does work for a number of the images. It is quite cool, it's very striking. But if, say, for example, you're wanting to photograph something very, very colorful, and maybe it's colorful foliage, or something where you just really want diversity in your image when it comes to what's coming through as the colors, this look here is not going to cut the mustard, and it's going to basically limit what you can really transcribe to the viewer with what you're actually photographing. Contextually, won't change a thing, but it will change the way the subject matter is emoted by simply just basic color theory. So how do we get past this duochrome look? And what it was is I was watching a video on how to do Aerochrome footage without getting one of those expensive Aerochrome filters. That's what I was trying to look for, and I was looking at Grainy Day's video here, and this video explains how he duplicates onto Aerochrome, but how he post-processes full spectrum footage without using one of those fancy filters. In fact, just using the same filter that he would use for normal Aerochrome and the post-processing that he does behind it to get that look. And when I was watching that video, I realized something. The same technique could be applied. Now, let me show you what that technique is. And just bear with me. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to duplicate the layers and show the different techniques. So I'm just going to pop that one, call that one David. Now what I've done this time is I've got 2 copies of the color photograph, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move 2 of them to specific color channels individually and then combine them in just a moment. So let's go to the first one. Let's go back to that red channel. Now we're going to make this 100% red. Oops. So what we're going to do is make this image 100% red, and the way to do that is to go to the red channel, make sure that it's red 100%, go to the green channel, put the green to 0, and then put this red here all the way up to 100%, and then go to the blue output channel, remove the blue, and put the red all the way to 100%. Now you notice that the image here is a little blue. That's because I haven't gone ahead and put all the color channels back. So once you've got it black and white, you know you've done it correctly. You'll notice that each time you do this, that the green output, or if you did a blue output, the green or the blue output would have different shading to the red output. So just pay attention in case you get a little monotonous with this and you don't know how to batch edit, and all of a sudden you can't remember which is which. Just pay attention to the shadow detailing, and over time you'll get familiar with that, and that will help with being able to figure it out. But also maybe just write which one it is. Okay. So that is now going to be combined. So Command E, and voila, that is now our red channel. If we go back to our other one, put all as colored channels back in, go to our channel mixer. This is going to be our green image. So 100% for green, get rid of the blue, go to the green channel, this should be correct, go to the red channel, that is 0, put it as 100% here. Okay, now we've got green, black and white. We can combine that, and that is our green channel. Okay, and then down below is our infrared. Now remember the color theory. If you want Aerochrome, you want IR for your red channel, red for your green channel, and green for your blue channel. So we're going to go to the IR photo and remove the other two channels. So we're going to go to the red photo and we're going to remove the red channel and the blue channel. We're now having that as our green, and then we're going to go to our green channel and remove our everything else but blue. Now this technique is not perfect, and Granny Days' original video, he does have to tweak the contrast and the brightness of each channel to a specific amount, and he's basically dials it in himself, and I had to do the same here so that the colors really popped. So just wait a moment and let me show you how to get those colors to pop. Very simply, you could go to brightness contrast, add it in, connect it to the layer you want to alter. I actually think I'm gonna put it all the way on what is our red channel, i.e. our infrared. That's where I see a lot more popping. And voila, now we can get it to really shine through. How much we want it to shine through is of course up to taste, and there's much better ways to do this, but I digress. Whatever which way you want to do it, it is entirely up to you and your specific taste. And please don't take this as my idea of specific taste. I'm just doing this very quickly as an example. Now I'm just going ahead and cropping, just a light crop. I don't usually crop my photos, but this technique kind of requires it. 2:3 aspect ratio because we're shooting 35mm film. And voila, here's the photo. Now you can see with this technique, it is a lot more closer to being Aerochrome. And again, like I just said, how you adjust the layers with some brightness and contrast or other things to affect, technically the shadows, will go ahead and affect how Aerochrome looking it is, just like actual Aerochrome gets affected by what kind of filters you use. So you can also go ahead and, use other techniques to adjust. Of course, this is a lot of digital post-processing and getting more and more away from film photography. But hey, Aerochrome doesn't exist anymore, not as something that you can buy for a good price. And yeah, so video stopped recording, so hopefully I make sense from where I was. Always fantastic when that happens. So what we've got here is 3 ways to post-process, and there potentially is more. It is really up to your taste as to what you want to go ahead and do. But I think of the 3 trichrome techniques, whether this is the best one, I'm still not sure, but here is the balance between this technique and the others. On the left, we could have shooting normal standard trichromes where you have 3 filters and it takes forever and you can end up with the Harris effect. And it is limiting to what you can go ahead and photograph, or unless you want to go ahead and take photographs with weird colors sitting in between where objects have moved. Now on the other side, you can shoot the Rito Aerochrome, which is half frame, not very good resolution, f8, so you have even less things you can go ahead and photograph. And overall, it's just, you know, not exactly stuff that you're going to be able to make artwork from. And then you have this technique here in the middle. Now, whilst this technique needs perfecting, I hope both myself, David from Two Stop Over, and others try out and try perfect this technique, whether it be creating better 3D prints or choosing better glass, or, you know, maybe some different cameras that can be even more closely aligned. Whatever the case may be, or even better post-processing, whatever the case may be, does not matter. It will improve over time. This technique does come with the fact that you can photograph things, and for the most part, as long as you can photograph fast enough and you don't have too much movement in your cameras, you basically will get everything in motion with little fragging. My photos are not the best examples with that. David actually has some much better examples. Whilst we were both using the same kind of technique, he was photographing very different objects than me, so maybe that also comes into it as well. This was just simply my first attempt at photographing this, so bear that in mind. But overall, this technique just provides better speed, and also the fact is that you just get multiple images out of it. You get an infrared image, you get a color image, and you can get a trichrome infrared in any which way you want. Like, there is a number of combos that you can do, and you get decent resolution. So it's a really cool technique, because even if, say for example, something happens and you don't get the trichrome photo, you still are gonna probably get a photo. And how many techniques can be that fail proof? So overall, this is a really cool technique. I'm hoping that this is something unique and cool, and something that other people want to take on. I have some spin-off ideas, something that I've wanted to do for quite a long time. I'm going to integrate using this technique, and I'm going to be using this camera setup for some other videos. It is actually a really fun setup to use, and it's really funny watching people's reaction when you're walking around with this Frankenstein of a beast camera setup. So, as always, it's been real, guys. Until next time, if you have any questions about this, message me, or, you know, go message Two Stop Over on Instagram and just talk about it. Happy to answer, and I'm pretty sure David will be too, because I found he's absolutely excellent to talk to. So, as always, it's been real, guys. Until next time.